Hello and welcome to Mission 2, Episode 6 of Let's Play Quake. The level is titled the DISMAL Oubilette, which is a very fitting name because recording this level was certainly up to where I am now, which is about halfway through Episode 3. This was certainly one of the most frustrating and time-consuming ones. It took a good number of tries to run through this and figure out a way to not get killed principally, but also to nail all the monsters and all the secrets, and I'm not even sure I managed to do that. I'll explain why when we get further down the line. One of the secrets I swim past, but don't actually have it register as having picked up, which is a little disappointing. Especially given I couldn't pick it up because it was a quad damage, but I'll explain the situation when we get that far in the level. For now I'm just running through this very small section at the start, preparing myself for fighting a shambler so early on in the level. There's actually 85 enemies in this level of Quake, which I don't know if it's the most in the game for any individual level number, but it's the most I've seen so far. Certainly the bonus level, the one right after this for episode 2, has 78, and I felt like that was a chore, so this one was it was a headache. I actually ended up recording it in 5 separate parts. There's a fairly obvious cut, if you want to call it that, which I thought I would be able to sort of make more of a smooth transition, but I'd actually lost the original recording I'd done by the time I got around to editing it. Actually turns out to be just over 10 minutes, which is, if you've been following the sort of average time it takes to run through, bear in mind I'm not trying to do this particularly quickly, average time to run through a Quake level, 6 minutes seems to be about the average. So again, it's not only full of enemies, but it takes a long time to traverse. Part of that can be blamed on the small spot of backtracking I do to grab one of the secrets at one stage. But nevertheless, it's still quite a long length of level. Makes sense, it is the last level of episode 2, other than the bonus level. I was actually reading the other day, I didn't realise, but each episode in Quake has its own bonus level. The first one obviously is Ziggurat Vertigo. I think that's probably about video 6, video 7 maybe, I've lost track at this point. I probably should have done a separate video for each level, but the first one and the last one on episode 1, you can run through them so quickly. It just turned out 6 minutes was about the average length it took to do a level. Of course, if you've read at the bottom of the thread, the Quake Done Quickest 14-minute long video kind of rips that all into pieces, but I'm not really going for the speedrun here. Although I do love Quake because of the fluidity of motion, how fast it feels compared to something like well, Call of Duty or any of the modern shooters that are out these days. Feel a bit cheap at this point, chucking a bunch of nades off the wall to doing the shambler. Grenades and rockets are worthless against these things. They can take so many direct hits, and it doesn't even worry them. Compare that to the lightning gun, where it feels, if you get a lock on them for about 2 seconds, that's them minced. But I didn't really have any other option for an indirect attack, and like I say, even though I'm fairly early at this stage in the level, I'd run through this section a lot to try and figure out the best way to do it and so on. So at this point, any shortcut I could take, I was taking. Sneaky little zombie there, probably to try and scare you into reaction shotting with the rocket launcher and blowing yourself up. The section I exited there is home to one of the secrets. I do come back for it to register it because at this point I'd actually forgotten that I hadn't picked it up. I'd played through so many times that I'd lost track of whether I'd had a secret at each specific sort of point. The nasty video edit, which looks horribly amateurish, is just coming up just when I clear out these last few enemies in this section here. Death Knight gets right up in my face. Thankfully I've got a lot of armour there, because if I didn't I was never surviving that. And here we go. I thought I would be able to make a video edit here, but I'm in the same room, you don't miss any action, it's a couple of seconds ahead of where I wanted it to be. But honestly, like I would care if everything else had went smoothly, but by the time I'd recorded this level, I just wanted it over with. I think this is the point where I make the little backtrack to I must have missed that zombie earlier on. show off the rocket jump, and I think that's the first time I've actually done that in this Let's Play. It comes in really useful. Now the problem with the secret, I'm just destroying a couple of zombies that are in the pool here. The problem with this secret is, you know, you'll see it's standing there, it even flashes up the message for you've discovered a secret area, I'm sure. Or do I just choose to ignore it? Well, that's why it didn't work, because I chose to ignore it. Well, that was just stupid play on my part, folks. I couldn't actually figure out, I don't think there is a way to get out of the water, there must be. But I couldn't figure out how you got out of the water without trying to improvise the rocket jump there. And I was getting so frustrated and fed up by this point. It slipped my mind that I hadn't even picked up the quad damage. So the secret's there, trust me folks. It's on display even if I've not actually picked it up. So with that long backtrack out the way, I can finally make my way to the main section of the level. And use the gold key we just picked up. Get lost a little bit though. Realise I'm not going the right way. Sorry, we've not picked up the gold key yet, we're on the way to pick up the gold key. And also a way to pick up the second and last secret of the level, which is just behind me. If I shoot that panel or door, or do I save it for the upcoming skirmish in the next room? Yeah, I try and be really smooth here and drop down without activating the lift so I can be really quick. And then fall off the lift when it goes up, completely negating that little bit of speedrunning I did there. Now, I just plough right in at this point. I've got my protection on. Oh god, that's what she said. I've got a bunch of rockets, so I'll wad in, just start firing away. Like I say, I wanted to blow everything up. I wanted retribution for what felt like the hours I'd wasted trying to perfect this one level. That will allow us to access the third floor. Of course I time it so badly that the elevator goes all the way to the bottom first. Kill this ogre with splash damage before we even see him though. And pick up the lightning gun for this chapter. Still haven't learned the proximity of the grenades, which is a fairly important element. Quite easy to walk into range of those when you don't really want to. I remember playing Quake back in the day and really being that satisfied with the super nail gun. Always remember using the shotgun, but if this playthrough's taught me nothing else, it's other than the lightning gun, obviously. The super chain guns. I keep calling it a chain gun. The super nail gun is probably the best weapon. Gold key in hand now, we'll head to this little barrier here to open yet another massive skirmish room. If I remember rightly. A couple of fiends, is there? Maybe a shambler? Oh yeah, there we are. Like I say, lightning gun and super nail gun, those things are no bother. That switch I just hit there will change the center platform in the just after the starting area, allowing me to pick up a nice armor boost and a nice health boost for what's, again, you'll see me notice I drop a little save there because I knew what was coming up with this one. See, instantly double shamblers right at you, and what follows when you dispatch of them is a slow descent down into the very depths of the level, where the exit and the last and latest enemy type makes an appearance. Unless you're counting the Shub-Niggurath, the final boss. Again, that's not in any way dangerous at this point. I mean, come on, they're shooting in a straight line about 8 feet above my head. Why would you be worried about that? A couple of zombies spawn out here, one on my head, of course, to mix things up a little. But they're not too difficult to dispatch. Waiting for something to happen. I think that the wall behind me, no, which wall is it? I don't know if there's a bug or something at this point, but I'm pretty sure that used to open a lot more readily when I first played it. Inside is the home of these two new enemy types. I believe they're called That's unprofessional. I've forgotten what they're called. Is it the Vorg or the Spore or something? Can't quite remember. They're quite dangerous in the sense that they can shoot these homing missiles at you, which will chase you for as long as they can. But they're not really too much of a concern. Like the Thunderbolt or the Nailgun will put them down like anything. So as you can see, I did get all the kills for this level, but I missed out that secret, which I was just foolish to walk right past. All in all, quite an unsatisfying episode. I did miss out a fair amount of kills and so on. But that'll do for episode 2, and soon we'll move on to